everyone, we are recording. Um, so if for whatever reason you don't want to be recorded, please, make sure that you exit accordingly. Thank you again to everyone who's joined us for the Lunch and Learn session today. Um, we are going to be discussing a couple interesting topics. First and foremost is what uh, advanced premium tax credits are. We're going to talk about the reconciliation of APTC. We're also going to talk about failure to file. Okay. Now, here's something important to keep in mind. Number one, I am not, and I can't stress this enough, I am not a tax professional. So please understand that none of the advice that is shared, none of the information that is shared today is to be construed as professional tax advice. I am not a tax professional. So, um, but I am a fan, a huge fan of advanced premium tax credits. They are the form of financial assistance here at Pennie that, to be quite honest with you, uh, makes my heart sing. Um, Advanced premium tax credits in a nutshell, and we have a dynamic duo in terms of the types of financial assistance we have here at Pennie. Our advanced premium tax credit is a tax credit that you can take in advance to lower the monthly health insurance payment or premium at any metal tier. For a lot of people, the biggest barrier to quality health insurance is uh, it's that premium. It's being able to afford health insurance. And that's where the advanced premium tax credit really shines through. And not to take a back seat, cost sharing reductions through our silver plans also play an important role in helping reduce the costs of things like copays, deductibles, co-insurances, things that, to be quite honest with you, confuse and scare people a lot. So cost sharing reductions, in my opinion, they definitely don't take a back seat to advanced premium tax credits, but advanced premium tax credits are um, I, I guess you could say they are the form of financial assistance that people see uh, quite readily out of the gate. With that being said, when you consider an advanced premium tax credit, it's financial help that's available for people now. Um, and you're eligible for a premium tax, or your eligibility for a premium tax credit is based on your projected income and household information that you provide on your Pennie application. Customers, assisters, brokers can also um, sort of determine and estimate what the advanced premium tax credit is that they would qualify for through Pennie's comparison shopping tool. Another point about advanced premium tax credits is if your estimated income falls between 100 and 400% of the federal poverty level for your household size, you may qualify for a premium tax credit if you otherwise qualify for coverage through Pennie. Again, there's a lot of assistance for folks when it comes to APTC. And while you can purchase health coverage through other sources, through the carriers directly, it's always important to keep in mind, and from a customer serving standpoint, that Pennie's the only source for financial assistance like APTC or cost sharing reductions. Um, so again, in a nutshell, when you think about advanced premium tax credits, when do you get the help? You get it in advance. You get it now. What does it impact? It impacts the premium, your monthly premium payment. Um, and when do you reconcile it? You reconcile it when you file your taxes for the year. Now that brings us as a segue into reconciling APTC. And again, I'm going to mention this for the greater good. I'm not a tax professional. Okay. But the information that I'm going to share with you today, I think you'll find that it's it's important information, especially for those who work, uh, with customers face to face across the Commonwealth. People come in and they have questions, and advanced premium tax credits are, again, a great source of financial assistance for our customers here at Penny. But at the end of the day, that reconciliation process can be a little intimidating. And again, when in doubt, please keep in mind that it's never a bad thing to be able to refer to someone, to a tax professional in their local area, to seek, professional advice on this. But uh, information is a good resource for all in terms of being able to serve effectively. When it comes to reconciling APTC, there are a few important points to consider. Number one, if you use more advance payments of the tax credit than you qualify for based upon your final yearly income, you must repay the difference when you file for your federal income tax return. That's point one. Point two is if you use less premium tax credit than you qualify for, you'll get the difference as a refund credit when you file for your taxes. And here's something that a lot of folks may lose sight of, and that is you can use all, some, or none of your premium tax credit in advance to lower the amount of your premium you pay out of pocket every month. Again, that's a facet of the advanced premium tax credit that in some cases may go overlooked. Um, Here's another important thing, and we all know this based upon, and I'm bringing this up during the reconciliation because this is part of what was brought about on March 11th through the Biden administration and the American Rescue Plan. And under the American Rescue Plan, individuals who received advanced premium tax credits in 2020, they won't be required to pay back any excess APTC that they receive when they submit their 2020 tax return. Okay. Now, most folks by now have, they've submitted their 2020 tax return, but I mentioned this because, again, this was something that all of us had to consider as as we move through 2021 this year. But what I'd like to do now is go over the actual reconciliation process for advanced premium tax credits. Um, to reconcile, you compare two figures, okay? The amount, and this is the first figure, the amount of premium tax credit you used in advance during the year, APTC, and the amount of tax credit you actually qualified for based upon your final income, okay? Now, in reconciling your APTC, in addition to the 1095A form that you would have, you would also want to take a look at, and we are going to take a deep dive into Form 8962. That Form 8962 exists to help customers reconcile their advanced premium tax credit. Again, is this something that, a lot of folks should rely on, a tax professional to help them with in the end? Sure. But again, being able to point people to the right resources and being able to share those resources with them is very important. So let's take a look at Form 8962. This is an actual example, and yes, I will, in the chat, I'll make sure that, and in follow up to this, I'll make sure that not only is the recording out there, but I'll send along PDFs of all these materials. The first thing that anybody would do, um, the first thing that anybody would do, bear with me one second, folks. I think is anybody having any difficulty seeing my screen?
Hey Scott, I can't see your screen.
Oh, geez. Okay. Well, let me let me do this. Let me go here. And now you should be able to see Form 8962. Is everybody good with this? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Well, with Form 8962, the first thing that that you would want to take into consideration is putting your name, your social security number, etc. And of course, they ask about your filing status. Are you married, filing single? Are you a victim of domestic abuse, spousal abandonment? They use the term tax family on this form, and your tax family represents you, your spouse, partners, and dependents. They also, just like Pennie's comparison shopping tool, they utilize the modified AGI, and that's adjusted gross income. The adjusted gross income on your tax return plus certain income, that's the modified AGI, and that takes into account things like foreign income, tax exempt interest, the portion of Social Security benefits that's not taxable, etc. Um, so as we move forward through this form, you'll then be in a position where Form 8962 will ask you for your combined modified AGI for your dependents who are required to file an income tax return because their income meets the income tax return filing threshold. So that gets factored in here on page 1. We also include on Form 8962 the federal poverty line. Um, and again, there's a calculation that you would utilize for this. On line 4, you want to check the box to indicate your state of residence. Okay. And in this case, anybody in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, you're going to find yourself. And again, there are 3 different ones, but most commonly it's going to be the federal poverty line for the 48 contiguous states and the District of Columbia. That's where you're going to find yourself, hence the reason I added it here. Um, you're going to enter the amount that represents the federal poverty line in your state for your particular family size. And again, you go into a figure for your household income and the percentage of that federal poverty line. Line 6. Line 6 asks you a specific question. And that specific question is related to whether or not your income exceeds 401% of the federal poverty line. If it does, quite clearly, you're not eligible for APTC. And that's an important thing to keep in mind. If no, you proceed to line 7 and we calculate how much. Now, when you get to line 6, if no, proceed to line 7 and calculate how much. Here's the chart that you would actually utilize. And again, these are supporting documents that I'll be sending along after our training today. But I will send this information over to you so that you have it and you can review it as well and share it with your customers. Now, Form 8962 also on line 9 requires that you allocate your policy amounts. For this, it's a big help to have your 1095A form on line 10. And we're going to go through these lines here very quickly, but line 10, it asks you whether or not you had a full year of coverage. Okay, again, that's something that the 1095A will be able to help you with. Line 11 are annual totals. Lines 12 through 23 are monthly calculations, and they have those listed there January through December. You also, on line 24, list the total level of APTC. Line 25 is any advance payment. And when it comes to line 26, and here's again where we get into, it's always good to consult a tax professional if things like this confuse you. And believe me, you're not alone. Line 26, and it reads as such: if 24 is greater than 25. In other words, if your total APTC is greater than your advance payment, subtract line 25 from 24 and enter the difference on 26. Again, it's generally with language like that, and you know, I'm not the sharpest pencil in the drawer. I will say this: generally, when we get into discussions of if this, then that, um, eh, a lot of times people get confused and frustrated because it is confusing. So here we go again. With regard to line 27, again, we're in one of these if then. If line 25 is greater than line 24, subtract 24 from line 25 and enter the result on 27. For line 28, they talk about excess APTC that you must basically repay. And again, for 2020, those who utilized and had that excess, again, we saw before that, during the American Rescue Plan, there was legislation put forward to help those individuals, especially during this time. When you look at line 29 is the allocation of policy amounts. Line 30 through 33 is whether or not you shared a policy with another. Line 34 is basically, have you completed all the policy amount allocations? It's a yes or no. And then 35 and 36 are alternate entries for Social Security number and for a spouse, alternate entries for Social Security number. In addition to this, one of the important things about Form 8962 is that it helps an individual help a family reconcile their APTC for a given tax year. The important thing to realize is that there are also, you know, uh, individuals who, for whatever reason, they may forget to file. They may find themselves in a position where, due to, their income, due to certain factors, it may slip their mind to file taxes. Um, it happens. So with that, the important thing to keep in mind is if you fail to file your taxes, especially when it comes to APTC, these are some key points you want to keep in mind. Failing to file your tax return for tax years other than 2020 may prevent future advance advance credit payments. Now, why did they mention other than 2020? Well, that's, we have we have the assistance through the Affordable Care Act, or I'm sorry, not the Affordable Care Act, but the American Rescue Plan for that. If the advance credit payments are made for you or an individual in your tax family for coverage uh, in a year other than 2020, and you do not file your tax return, you will not be eligible for advance credit payments in future years. So basically, if you fail to file, it eliminates your ability to take advantage of the financial assistance offered through the advanced premium tax credits moving forward. This means that you'll be responsible for the full cost of your monthly premiums. Okay. In addition, you may have to pay back some or all of the advanced premium credit payments that are made on your behalf of you and the individuals in your tax family. And advance payments of the premium tax credits are reviewed every fall by Pennie for the next calendar year as part of our annual enrollment process. So again, understand failing to file your taxes has implications, not only, in terms of your income and your revenues, but in terms of your financial assistance here at Pennie. So with that being said, um, I'd like to turn it back uh, over to the group. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to either unmute yourself and ask. If I'm able to answer, I'll be more than happy to entertain what I can. Please keep in mind, I am not a tax professional. But does anybody have any questions for us today? All right. Well, as I mentioned, I want to make sure that everyone is aware, fully aware of the fact that the forms that we have that we've gone over today, I will make certain that not only are the instructions for the Form 8962 included with this presentation, but also the actual Form 8962, so folks can use it a as an opportunity to review not only the instructions for reconciliation, but again to see that there's a lot of benefit to having access to that type of financial assistance, but being able to reconcile it and to help people get beyond some of the questions or fears that they might have if they're trying to reconcile it on their own. Um, yeah, that's something that we can all benefit from. So with that being said, thank you everyone uh, thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope everybody has a peaceful week, and I hope everyone enjoys the Juneteenth weekend. Thank you so much, and we'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.